I'm Garrison Suffrage. Family has always been a big part of my life and plays a huge role in who I am today. My grandfather brought my mother and her siblings over to the U.S. from Vietnam as refugees when she was only 8 years old. This has imprinted a sense of pride and belonging in my life. My parents brought me up to respect others and to enjoy the simple things life has to offer. At the age of 8 years old, I began to participate in Leadership Training for Christ, or LTC for short. This was an organized event that taught kids to become proactive followers of Jesus, sharing their faith with anyone they would talk to. Back when my sister used to be at home, we would go on annual vacations, typically to a beach of some kind, especially to the liking of my mother and sister. Over time, I began to get very close to my cousins and spent countless hours entertaining myself with them whenever we got together. When I turned 10, I really began to appreciate the outdoors. As I matured, I continued to take part in LTC every year. This was when my faith really took root and when I can say I truly was developing a relationship with Jesus. My sister, being 11 years older than I am, met a man named Brandon. He would later become her husband and would join us on many family vacations. Each year, I would look forward to being in a small chorus at LTC. My freshman year, I really started to make friends in band. By this time, my family was fortunate enough to acquire some property a couple hours north of our home. I began to grow interest in the outdoors and really began to appreciate God's creation. This became a great avenue to bring friends out to talk about Jesus and observe His creation. Every 2 years, the band would take a trip to perform somewhere, and that just happened to be an amusement park that year. My dad and I found that we really enjoyed spending time together exploring the nation's national parks. In the years following, I, along with my mother, father, and occasionally my sister and her husband, would proceed to drive across the United States in search of the best national parks for vacations. We were somehow always amazed with the things we saw on those trips. Since my sister lives with her husband in Florida now, I enjoy every opportunity I can to see her. After spending over 3 years together with other band students, we developed a very close relationship. I became especially close with a group of guys who played the same instrument as I, and coincidentally, shared the same love for God that I did. Although we wouldn't have as many biblical conversations as I would with my friends from the youth ministry at church, my band friends helped me to stay on the right track throughout high school. As my final years in my dream band wrapped up, the band director had a very intentional request, and that was for the band seniors to write our parents an honest letter regarding our plans for the future, and to present that letter to them on senior recognition night during a football camp. In that letter, I expressed to my parents my intentions on attending Harding, and now here we are.